had said earlier on that the coolest uncle in Harare, possibly in Zimbabwe, would be joining us for trending at Curtly. But I guess he felt that, as usual, this could be the gentleman's affair. So he's quite here now to take us through and look at our trivia.
Yes.
How are you, Curtly?
I'm excited. I'm excited. It's quite exciting because it's a Friday. We're winding down the end of the month. And yes, thank you so much, viewers, for staying with us in the second edition of Good Morning Zimbabwe. We are indeed broadcasting live from our Pocket Hill studios. Quite excited once again to be having another gentleman's affair. If you joined us yesterday, you will make sure that you keep up with what we're doing here on Good Morning Zimbabwe, with a little bit of flavor, a little bit of a different attitude with regards to GMZ. And yes, you will be catching up with all things to do with our business breakfast. We will also be making sure we bring you our regional and international lineup. We have a special author in the building you don't want to miss. The conversation we'll be having around that, as well as our sports news as usual with Innocent Manyenga. And yes, if you check your time with ours, the time is exactly 7:10. We will be tracking stories that have to do with what we did in our early news, Malvin.
Yeah, we'll be looking at our news briefs. But for now, today is the 24th of November, and we move closer and closer to the end of the year. But we look at events that happened in history on this particular day. And this one, everyone is quite...
It's very trivial. It's a very trivial story. We are in our trivia segment.
Yeah, so on this day in 2017, the then former Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa is sworn in as President of Zimbabwe, replacing Robert Mugabe.
Yes, a monumental day in history. If you look at the visuals there, our President, Comrade Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, was sworn in as president. And I think prior to this, day back in history, we did also witness his arrival at the airport, which is a very monumental day. And it then led up to this day where stadiums were packed to the rafters. We had many dignitaries as well as individuals, delegations representing different nations also coming in solidarity with the step Zimbabwe had taken. And this is a day that has shaped our history with regards to the First Republic, and now we are in the Second Republic, enjoying as well as reaping the fruits of this particular day.
Yeah, and would you look at the numbers which were in the stadium that day? And
we did have armed forces that were representing the solidarity once again, and I think our comrade Dr. C.G.D. Chiwenga was also by his side, and the words there were, "The people have spoken." That was the word of the day there.
Well, it's quite a day to be remembered. So
we track back to 1859 now, as we go back from 2017, where the British naturalist, if you remember the Darwinism theory, we're talking about Charles Darwin, who publishes On the Origin of a Species, on the theory of evolution. Now, Homo sapien. Homo sapien sapien. That is where
I remember learning about this.
All this jargon was coming from. This was the original textbook and template.
I remember learning about this in high school. Now the theories are quite controversial.
Yes. What are you? Are you a Darwinist? Do you believe in Charles Darwin's theory, or you still are stuck on some of the ideologies that say that we evolved or we came from dust? We came from dust, we will turn, like the Bible says.
I am quite a staunch believer. So the Darwinism is not something I would like to believe in.
Yes. Okay. So if you do have a particular way in which you believe something should be done, if you do have a particular view, please let us know in the comment section. We'll be very excited to know what it is exactly that some of us subscribe to as Zimbabweans. And if you're watching us from wherever in the world, we want to know what you subscribe to with regards to these theories.
Oh, yeah.
And so we go to 1963.
We go to 1963, and the Dallas nightclub owner, Jack Ruby, shot and killed Lee Harvey Oswald, the accused assassin of President John F. Kennedy, in a Dallas police station, broadcasting live From the scene, television cameras captured Oswald's murder, and shocked television viewers became unwitting witnesses to the crime.
Whoa.
Imagine crime on live TV.
On live TV, and if you think about it, I think many, oh my word.
Just look at that.
Oh my word. Yeah, these are visuals that are actually quite, I think if we have sensitive viewers, this wouldn't be something that you want to look at. And perhaps if you also date back into history at this particular day, a lot was happening at the time because many Americans as well were very indignant about some of the leadership systems, leadership styles of certain leaders. And the assassin was assassinated.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. The assassin was assassinated.
The assassin was assainated.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
Talk about karma.
Yes,
well, that was a look at our trivia today.
Yes.
But as usual, as always, we always have a question to make sure that your, what do you call it?
Your mind is continuously churned.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
And our quiz question for today is which stone-carved artifact represents the national emblem of Zimbabwe? And we will give the answer as the bulletin progresses as well.
Maybe
so
one more time so that they hear it.
Which stone-carved artifact represents the national emblem of Zimbabwe? Do go through to our Facebook page. That's at...
So we can give them a hint.
Yeah.
The hint is RBZ. So if you are aware of RBZ, there's a stone-carved artifact that is there, and it's probably symbolic there. That's the only hint we're going to give you. But this morning, as we proceed, we would quickly want to say a top of the morning to a few of our fans who are joining us on social media. We are live on our ZBC News online Facebook page. We want to say a top of the morning to NMR Sims. We want to say a top of the morning to Edwin Moyo, who is live here on Facebook. We want to say a top of the morning once again to Samuel Danisa Mpofu. Moment Mutinima is joining us on Facebook. A top of the morning to you. I know our producers want us to track through a few of our stories, so we'll get right into it as we proceed, and we'll be greeting you a bit further. But all those people I've mentioned, if you don't say the answer to the quiz question, we have a big problem. We won't say to you, good morning on Good Morning Zimbabwe ever again. So we want to know which stone carved artifact represents
write down the answer
emblem.
on there if you know it. So looking at our news briefs, the stories that we have been taking a look at since 6 a.m. in the morning, one of the major ones is that President Emmerson Mnangagwa says Zimbabwe and Mozambique will continue to consolidate the strong ties that exist between the two countries. He was speaking at the commissioning of the refurbished Machipinda railway line in Mozambique, which is set to improve the movement of goods in the region. And our diplomatic correspondent, Josephine Mugio, will give us more on that story.
Mozambique is Zimbabwe's gateway into the international community, given that Zimbabwe is a landlocked country. President Emmerson Mnangagwa attended the official commissioning of the Machipinda railway line in Mozambique at the invitation of his counterpart, President Filipe Nyusi. Rehabilitated at a cost of $200 million United States dollars, the railway line is expected to improve the movement of goods within the SADC region. President Mnangagwa congratulated his counterpart for resuscitating the railway line, which became obsolete over 20 years ago. The development will see increased movement of trade goods from the current 600,000 metric tons to 3.5 million tons in the first 12 months.
When I saw the video which was presented just now, I realized the truth that nyika inovakwa nevene vayo, nyika inotongwa nevene vayo, nyika inonamatirwa nevene vayo. Zimbabwe is a landlocked or land-linked country, and continues to benefit from the use of Mozambican ports, railways and road infrastructure for the movement of both imports and exports. We thus welcome this important development, as the use of trains and locomotives along the Beira-Machipinda railway line will reduce the transportation costs of goods between our two countries and the world beyond.
President Mnangagwa noted that such initiatives promote regional integration.
We are seeing, but we do not realize what we are seeing. We are seeing the philosophy of integration by the SADC region, so that together when we build this infrastructure in our respective countries, we are actually increasing trade among ourselves, modernizing our infrastructure, growing our economies, not in isolation, but in partnership. I say to my dear brother, keep on this vision. Keep on this vision. It is not for the benefit of Mozambicans, it is for the benefit of our region.
Currently, long queues on either side of the Mozambican or Zimbabwean border are the norm. The establishment of this newly refurbished railway line is expected to ease this challenge, as this will offer an alternative for the transportation of goods.
With the inauguration of the railway line, kilometers and kilometers of tracks on the Mozambican side, kilometers and kilometers of lined up tracks on the Zimbabwe side. With the inauguration of this railway line, all that cargo will now go to Beira, or from Beira to Zimbabwe, Botswana, Zambia, and DRC by rail.
President Nyusi also believes in fostering strong regional integration.
We in SADC, the rehabilitation of the Machipanda railway line with about 317.7 started in 2019 to make this railway line more reliable and safer. We had trains moving, but with so many difficulties. Perhaps that was one of the reasons why these people left the railway line and started resorting to the road. We have the privilege to celebrate.
The event coincided with the Chimoyo massacre, which claimed the lives of combatants and defenseless refugees on the 23rd of November in 1977 after a merciless attack by the racist colonial regime.
I am extremely pleased that my dear brother, President Nyusi, has invited me to grace this occasion as testimony to the strong and unbreakable bonds of friendship and solidarity that exists between our two nations, Zimbabwe and Mozambique. May I also say today is a historic day in that we in Zimbabwe and our brothers in Mozambique, we commemorate the Chimoyo Massacre Day, where the brutal racist colonial regime of Ian Smith killed thousands of our people, including women and children at Chimoyo. We should never, therefore, both our brothers and sisters in Zimbabwe, our brothers and sisters in Mozambique, must never forget our rich liberation history and that of independence, democracy, and freedom for the two countries, which we enjoy today. It came because our people sacrificed their lives. We in Zimbabwe will never forget, during our liberation war, that you, our brothers and sisters in Mozambique, looked after us as we fought for our liberation, for our democracy, for our independence. And today we continue to consolidate that friendship, and I'm here as testimony to that reality.
More than 5,000 people, including liberation fighters, women and children, were killed when the Rhodesian military force raided the Zanda military headquarters at Chimoyo in Mozambique in 1977. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Machipanda.